So guys, I've been self-sabotaging like crazy recently. And I needed to stop. We need to chill. We need to but either way, hey, what's going on, everybody? How you guys doing? Welcome to today's stream. Stream. I'm trying to figure out how to just like enable YouTube to just like throw up a bunch of streams automatically, because having to put in everything every single time is a lot. So I'm gonna try and figure that out. Not right now, but I start pulling all the time. I'm sorry, I'm pulling. But how are the peoples? Hope everyone's well. Yeah, I've just been doing a lot of self-sabotage. I've been trying to look for this new job. I've been trying to like make it musically, and I haven't even touched beats. I haven't even touched Indeed. Like I'm flailing around here. I don't know. Mm, mm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm, 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 mm. You see what I mean? Like, I didn't even need to do any of that. All right, let me tune into myself. Oh no. Oh no. What's going on? Okay, cool. So what's crazy is it's supposed to be ultra low latency, and yet the latency is goddamn. But that's neither here nor there. I just actually wanted to go to my, you know what? Let me do this one. Hold on. Hold on. This is why I use my phone, so it's easier. But I gotta use this other laptop. Why are you sending me notifications? Don't do that. Calm it down. Calm it down. Damn, broski. Oh, right. This is different. This is a different. Hold on. There we go. Let's see now. Why doesn't it say? Oh, okay. There we go. And we're gonna like it. Okay. Well, let's get back into the situation here, because I've gotten it completely off track here. All right. How the fudge? How do I get at it? Yeah. Oh no. I didn't mean to do all that. Okay. So today we're gonna try and break out of. I don't know why I keep thinking you guys are here. You guys are here. But yeah, I'm gonna try and break out of. Wait, can I move you guys? Wait, hold on. Because now my brain's thinking. Now I'm thinking thoughts. You know what happens when I think thoughts? You guys start moving. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, are we liking this? Wait, hold on. This is kind of cute or whatever. Wait, hold on. This is kind of cute. Here's the only problem. Now I'm going to be looking over here this entire... Okay, that's not that bad. That's not that bad. That's not that bad. Okay. I can make this work. It's kind of cute. Okay, I'm gonna do it this way for the rest of the stream. My throat. So, you see how I'm just instinctively ready to just procrastinate. Okay, so self-sabotage. Let's no. This is what we're looking up, brain. Oh, fudge. Okay. So maybe I can't spell. Whatever. Okay, intentional or unconscious behaviors such as procrastination, perfective. Let me drink some water. Hold on. Okay, such as perfectionism or self-medication that create obstacles in daily life, undermining long-term goals and personal well-being. Yay! Like, how am I supposed? Okay. Anyway, let's look into how to get rid of this shot. Who do I trust? Okay. How many of us? Hey, my name is Annie, and I'm a self-sabotager. Anyway, okay, how many of us have actually ruined our own opportunities? Damn, I did that today. I was supposed to look at my Indeed notifications every single day. Guess who's not doing that? And so I missed this, like, really cool job at a freaking dispensary. You understand what I'm saying? So, these are the lessons. These are the lessons that you learn. And it sucks. So we gotta overcome this. Let's go. Okay. Okay. Whether it be by not putting a true effort, denying an opportunity flat out, or even giving some really negative self-talk to cap our potential. I am so good at this part. If there was an Olympics for this part, I would be over here like, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, okay. I know I've ruined some coulda, shoulda, woulda, alright. Self-sabotage is in essence the art of undermining your own goals, dreams, and ambitions. It's a behavior that often leaves us wondering why we act in the ways of blah, 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 right? Human brains are wired to seek comfort and familiarity, making stepping out of our comfort zone an anxiety-inducing endeavor. Man. It's okay, so the known, I think they meant unknown, perceives the unknown, even if it's negative or unproductive, as safer than venturing into unknown. Oh, okay, no, never mind. Fear of failure. Yeah, I got that sheet crazy. Interprets failure as a threat to our own self-esteem. Right. And so it's not supposed to be, or is that not supposed to happen, or Cause no, that's kind of crazy. I actually thought, okay, okay, so failure it's not supposed to ruin my self-esteem. But then what's the point of failure then? Like, if it's not supposed to be a negative emotion, like, attached to it, then what? I mean, I guess learning from mistakes. Whatever. Okay. This is fucking me up. Okay, prompting, is that prompting avoidance behaviors to protect our fragile ego we love. Imposter syndrome, right? We don't truly deserve success. Or imposters pretending we're competent. Yeah, I've got a little bit of this. Not so much anymore. You can literally see my confidence going through as you go through my content, like, because I've been streaming for so long now. Yeah, that shit. It take a minute. I feel like I've just kind of gone through all of these. So that's interesting. Okay. So, okay, self-sabotage often occurs when we opt for short-term comfort or pleasure over the delayed satisfaction. Wow. Delayed satisfaction. What the okay. Wow. Satisfaction. There we go. Had to get it out before my brain thought about it too hard. Okay. Of achieving our own goals. Right. Pleasure over satisfaction. Right. Inner voice. Yeah, my inner voice don't like me sometimes. Like, she be bullying me. Like, I be like, damn, like, why you so mad at me? Like, what I do? And it'd be like, girl, you are living. That's what you do. That's what you did. And it's just like, okay. Damn. Because how am I supposed to get rid of that shit? As you can see, most of these are actually subconscious or just second nature. Second nature. Fuck. Yeah. Fuck. Yeah. I guess it is. Fuck. Okay. Okay, one of the first steps to actually overcoming this is being able to develop self-awareness. I already got that shit. I got that shit at the wazoo. You know what I'm saying? Okay, and notice that when you actually commit one of these 5 ways of self-sabotage, identifying these behaviors and the thought patterns. Okay, so when I woke up this morning, no, that doesn't make any sense. Let me repeat. So when I was going through the struggle and the torment of missing that job opportunity at that dispensary, right? I was talking to my wife, wifey. And I was just like, man, like, why does it feel like it takes so much energy to just open the Indeed app? Because I got it on my phone. I got it on my freaking Google, so it's on every desktop I own. So it's just like, there's nothing in my way, and yet I'm not doing it. Why am I in my own way? And so I asked my wifey that, right? And she's like, basically, because you're self-sabotage. And I was just like, damn, is that what this feeling is? Where it feels so right to procrastinate? She went, yeah. And that blew my mind. So yes. I need to stop relishing in that feeling. Well, not relishing, but like, I need to stop like playing into it, Because that's self-sabotage. How am I gonna get a job if I don't apply to jobs, Carly? Make it make sense? Either way, let's get back into it. Sorry about that. Oh gosh. Okay, so we've got thought patterns, addressing and overcoming self-sabotage, empowering yourself to take control and make more conscious choices. Right. We never want to live life on autopilot, okay? And if you find yourself doing that, snap, okay? Like, you just gotta do a little. I like moving in public. I like dancing in public because I just find movement as just an easy way to control the nervous system. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, if you're feeling stressed out, you can move a bunch, you know? You can just, saute it out. And if people are weird about it, they're weirdos. So that's easy. About face. And then, if people start dancing along with you, hey, we starting a groove. Hold on. We starting a groove. Chill out. But yeah, so I think that's a good way to remain conscious in your daily life. But here's the thing though. Once you start being conscious about your choices and shit, here's where I get into the freaking inner critic. I can't get rid of this shit. How do you get rid of this shit? Do you guys know? Cause she's mean. She's mean as fuck. Like, she be talking to me crazy out her neck. Like, who taught you that? Why are you so disrespectful? You know what I'm talking about? Like, so okay. Challenge your negative mindset. Can be relentless, bombarding us with negative thoughts, undermining our confidence, right. These negative thoughts, and whether they are based on evidence or unfounded assumptions. Replace these self-defeating thoughts with constructive self-talk. Well, how the fuck do I do that? I've been struggling a lot. Self-sabotaging, the depression, I got aware of what I was doing. See? It really be the closest ones to you that be like, hey, broski, did you know that this is your behavior? And you can't take that to heart. Like, if somebody's telling you an observation about yourself, try your best. Like, if it's truly just an observation, no judgment, not even a compliment. It's just them going, huh, that's pretty crazy, then don't take it personal. Take it as constructive criticism. Okay? And this is me telling myself as well. Because that should be hurting sometimes. Because, like, what the fuck? Okay. Boom, bam. Boom, bam. Okay. The practice of intentionally shifting inner dialogue from critical to supportive. Support me. Okay. No, I can get down with that. Okay. Encouraging a growth-oriented mindset. Sprinkle. I like. We're gonna figure out how to get that shit. Okay. It involves replacing self-limiting thoughts with compassionate, realistic affirmations to reduce stress, improve mental health, and enhance performance. Okay, this part just feels like I'm taking like a supplement. Okay. Right, so I've gotta give myself praise, is what you're saying. Great. The one thing that I struggle the hardest with. Of course, that's the thing I need to do. Because why not? Oh my god. Okay. I'm not even ready. Just give me a second. My brain. Compassionate. I'm supporting you. I support you. Hey, me. I support you. Get it, girl. Okay. Okay. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it now, Mr. Krabs. Okay. Positive thinking. Stop negative self-talk to reduce stress. Heard. Okay. I'm going to skip this part because I need to get down to the brass tacks here. Okay, positive thinking doesn't mean you ignore life's less pleasant situations. Positive thinking just means that you approach unpleasantness in a more positive and productive way. Okay. I didn't know we could also be productive with how we handle unpleasantness. I didn't know you could handle that productively. Okay. Heard. Fuck. Okay. Positive thinking often starts with self-talk. Right. Self-talk is the endless stream of unspoken thoughts that run through your head. Right. These automatic thoughts can be positive or negative. Some of your self-talk comes from logic and reasoning, right? Other self-talk may arise from misconceptions that you create because of lack of information or expectations due to preconceived ideas of what may happen, aka assumptions. So like that happens a lot, especially in what is it called, long-term relationships, like, with your family, with your partner. It's just like, I've known you for so long, and so I expect this, and so I assume things because of my expectations. um but like, you shouldn't really be doing that. You shouldn't really be assuming anything with people. You should just be asking people things, communicating. Because assumptions really just lead to miscommunications, and then you get to the unpleasantness, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so that does make sense. If the thoughts that run through your head are mostly negative, your outlook on life is more likely pessimistic. Right. Okay, if they're mostly positive, you're an optimist. Okay, but what if it's a little bit of both? Does that make me a realist? Or I don't know. I guess I would be a realist. Anyway, okay. Health benefits, of course, it's good for you to think positively. I think we all can, ascertain that. Okay, filtering. You magnify you magnify you magnify yeah, the negative aspects of a situation and filter out all the positive ones. Oh, okay, this is negative thinking. I'm like, how could you do that positively? Okay. Alrighty. I'd be doing that. I'm not gonna lie. How do you not do that? You had a great day at work, you completed your task ahead of time, and were complimented for doing a speedy and thorough job. That evening, you focus only on your plan to do even more tasks and forget about the compliments you. Hold on. Hold on, Chad. I'm being read for filth. Hold on. Hold on. Someone grab onto me. So, is that not what everybody else does? I'm confused. Wait, because this is actually radicalizing me. Okay, so you're telling me I'm not supposed to be just moving forward. Because like you do the check, you check off the box to your checklist of your to-do list of the day, right? You check off the box and you're like, cool, I did that. Am I really supposed to hold that satisfaction all day? It just feels silly. That's not silly. That's crazy. Okay. When something bad occurs, you automatically blame yourself. I'm not gonna lie, this definitely used to hit me hard, but I got out of this, luckily. So you hear that an evening out with friends is canceled, you assume, see, assumptions. See? Already in the gutter. Okay. You assume that the change in plans is because no one wanted to be around you. Who said that? Like, who said that, girlie? Who said that? Okay, so we've got catastrophizing. This one be tripping my baby up crazy. Wifey got this crazy town sometimes. But, that's just generalized anxiety for ya. Ooh, I should get like a rim shot sound effect. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, you bozo. I just wanted the sound. I really just wanted the sound. Not the meaning. Not the meaning. I'm like, what's the problem here? Okay. I haven't had my headphones on this entire time. Hopefully you guys weren't hearing anything crazy. That's so wild. Okay. Let's try that again. Do I really want it to be that long? Alright. Hold on, peeps. Yes, there we go. Right, right. And then if the length could be here, and then this could start here, that would be actually very delightful. Okay. What do you think, Chaz? Is that too short? It's like, because I don't really want it to drag out. Huh. Maybe I do. All right. Let me put this in my doodle bop. My doodle bop for my doodle bop. Why isn't Steam Deck coming in? Deck. So I need to make a little sound thing, guy. So if you could give me like, there we go. We'll just have some audios. Yes. Yes, girl. I would like it to fade out. That'd be kind of cute. I've got to decorate. Like I can't leave it gross looking. We could put like Okay, is that good? Yes. Here's my problem. Yeah, okay. What was my problem? I guess nothing. Okay, anyway. All right, let's try it out. And I says to him, I says, girl, you don't know what I gotta do. It's like, it's okay. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know how I feel about it, actually. I don't know. Get back to me. Get back to me. Okay, what were we, oh yeah, we were doing actually like important stuff. Okay. From why am I continuously having hair in my mouth? Unclear. Okay. Cute. So, blaming, you try to say someone else is responsible for something that happened to you instead of yourself. Yeah. This one I consistently try to not do. This one I'm scared. I'm scared, because nobody likes to feel blamed for things. Nobody likes to. You guys can't see. My bad. Anyways, yeah, nobody wants to feel blamed for things, but also, like, sometimes is either good or bad. There's no middle ground. Dang. I still be doing that. All right. Okay. Positive thinking. Identify areas of change. Okay. First identifying areas of your life that you usually think about negative, whether it's work, daily commute, life changes, or a relationship. You can start small by focusing on one area to approach in a more positive way. Okay, homie. Okay. Easy, simple. So you can start small by focusing on one area. Okay. Okay. Um, get back to me on this one. This one's hard. Check yourself. Stop and evaluate what you're thinking. Right. Be open to humor. Right. Follow a healthy lifestyle. 30 minutes on most days. I do be trying to do that. Surround yourself with positive people. Practice self-talk. Okay. Don't say anything to yourself that you wouldn't say to someone else. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Be gentle and encouraging with yourself. If a negative thought enters your mind, evaluate it rationally and respond with affirmations. Think about things you are thankful for in your life. Okay. Okay, heard. Okay, heard. But now, how do I do that constructive? Yeah. What? Yeah. Growth mindset. The latter is the limiting belief that the capacity to learn and improve cannot be meaningfully developed. Hmm. is open to the effort, even if it takes time. Okay. I don't really like psychology today, I'm not gonna lie to you. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. Childhood psychology research defines a growth mindset as the ability to reframe perceived failures as opportunities to learn and grow. Okay. So we're learning, we're growing. We're learning, we're growing. Okay, that could be an affirmation. We're learning, we're growing. I like that. Fostering a growth mindset and resilience attitude to combat procrastination. Okay. And other negative emotions that can impact our mental health in the academic space. And succeed at them because you are willing to try new strategies or increase your effort than students that have a fixed mindset. Ay, 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 bro. It's a lot of learning. It's a lot of learning for me. I'm supposed to just, you know, be able to do stuff? Like, it's crazy out here. Why can I never find my notes? Bro, I could have sworn I pinned you to this taskbar. Radio. Okay. So we're doing some research. Wait, yeah, 5. What's the date? It's the my goodness. Oh shit! I didn't know I could do that. Huh? Well, what do you know? You got the positive of the selfity talkities, and you've got ability to reframe failures as opportunities. Okay, failures opportunities. So learn. Okay. Improvement and improvement and oh my god, I'm having a brain fart. What the heck? Alright. My brain for some reason really wants to do affirmations right now, so I guess we're doing affirmations. Okay, chat. What's some good affirmations? You guys got any? Let's see. Why are you doing this? Why do you hate me? What? Okay, what was that one I said? I don't remember now. I'll watch it again and then find it. Right. Okay, so we are learning and growing. We're learning, we're growing. There we go. We're learning, we're growing. Ah. Other. Yeah, I don't have any others. But at least we know now how to get out of this. Because G's, oh G's. Improvement results from balancing negative and positive feedback. Okay. Teamwork, even if it seems difficult. Right. That's the growth mindset. Right. Okay. There's a lot of thinking I just had to do, so I'm gonna reward myself with some videos. My brain hurts now. Anybody else's brain hurt? What? Oh my god. What happened?
The Your Rage and Bruce situation has gotten worse, and originally I wasn't gonna make another video because I feel like my first one was pretty clear cut and dry. You can't insinuate someone is a predator based on vibes, but given the nature of the internet, this situation turned into a community war with DEO and YRG posting clips back and forth trying to make each other look bad. It stopped being about whether or not Rage was actually a predator and turned into who can make the other look worse. People have gotten so consumed by streamer wars that the most uncomfortable story went right under their nose. The same story that apparently changed when Rage addressed it himself on stream. We have so much to talk about today, twin. Go get some a goosey stew. Comment for the algorithm. Here's the thing with the situation. My opinion has not changed since my first video. I still don't think Rage has a crush on Yana, nor do I think he's trying to.
Sis is way into some pussy.
I do think people are getting carried away though, because on the internet, nobody actually cares about protecting young people from predatory old folks. Nobody cares about having real discussions about what makes a friendship or any type of relationship healthy. People just want to see their faves win their beef. But before we get into any of that, I want you guys to see Rage's response to the situation.
A lot of niggas see Yana and they want to fuck. So when they see me being platonic with this girl and making funny content, they're like, damn, Thousand Rage's position, shit, I'll be gone. You know what I'm saying? I'm not you.
Right.
I'm not you. I don't want to be you neither. I promise you. I'm not you, my nigga. Keep that weird. I already said a fucking week ago, chat. I don't give a fuck if I know you in real life. I don't give a fuck if you a streamer. I don't give a fuck if you a random in the fucking chat. You say some weirdo shit. If you make a suggested comment between me and Yana, that girl is 19 years old. I'm 28. Don't play with me like that, bro.
Now the wording is crazy, but only because it's blunt. And the reality is that he is right. On the internet, women are objectified and sexualized. Women are so sexualized that a lot of men can only rationalize defending women if you're trying to sleep with them. And I'm the proof. I've defended women and had pro-women stances across my channel, and I get accused of trying to sleep with them constantly. People are definitely projecting onto Rage here, and not only are they projecting, but they're taking away Yana's agency. Yana herself has stated Rage has kept it respectful. This also isn't Rage's first time explicitly stating his boundaries. So if you keep saying the contrary despite what Yana is saying, you just don't care about Yana. It's not about protecting women, nor is it about exposing a predatory man who is pursuing a sexual relationship under false pretenses. My theory is that this is just a personal vendetta by Bruce that's been enabled by his community.
Little sis not saying no more. Nah, she can do what she want. She just better be being careful and staying safe. She can do what she wants.
Nigga, this is not your real sister. You have a real sister, gang. Like, bro, this is why I'm trolling you. Did you see the point that I make? Like, bro, what is this character? Is this a character, bro? Nah, Chrome Heart's dead. Change niggas, bro. Chrome Hearts changed niggas, bro. Who gave this nigga the Chrome plug, bro? We can't give everybody Chrome Hearts. I ain't gonna lie.
What?
And this is what I mean. The
What are we
irony
talking
is
about?
that
What are
the
we
thing
talking
he's
about?
accusing Rage of is the thing that Marlon literally did. The clip is corny and you might think it's weird, but if you're going to insinuate someone is a predator, it has to be beyond some corny clips where someone is obviously playing into a bit. And when you actually take a look at Marlon, he was for real flirting. The internet literally shipped him. He was 24 years old, relationship dating with a 19-year-old. But I don't remember Bruce ever calling that out or talking about it. You know who did though? I did. But Yana has me beat by 2 months in age, which means Shorty is 19 while Marlon is 24. And that age gap is a little crazy. I peep niggas trying to downplay it in my comment section on the last video I made, but the reality of the situation is that 19 is a very delicate time in your life. I'm not saying this to accuse anyone of anything, but I think people are purposely being obtuse when they act like 19 and 24 are comparable in age. And that's why I think Bruce is just moving like a scorned dude. The guy that is actually guilty of trying to lil sis his way into some pants is right there. He's right there. But Bruce is more concerned about Rage because of past beef, or at least that's just my perception. And also I want to get this out the way again. It's literally just misogyny, bruh. You can't assume a dude is interacting with a girl based on his own sexual desires. Yana has been reduced to pussy in this conversation, and that is extremely objectifying. It's not even about protecting Shorty. She's just a gotcha. She's a gotcha in Bruce Drop 'em Off's smear campaign against your Rage, and I don't agree with that.
You wear muscle shirts. You got 10 injections. Load it up, bro. He's done. The excruciation of your rage, ugly ass little boy. Boy, you was a Twitter plug. On God, stupid ass little boy. Fuck is you talking about, nigga? You used to be like, so Illuminati, what do you want me to take out again? All I said was it's not okay for a 30-year-old to have a platonic relationship with a 19-year-old. What do they have in common? Where am I wrong? Nobody will tell me that I'm wrong in that. A 30-year-old? Nigga, 28, 27-year-old, nigga, if you got a little sister, you allowing them to fucking be platonic friends with them? Tell me yes or no.
Now I'm showing you guys Bruce cooking Rage because in my opinion, that's what his side comes across as. Bruce just sounds like an unstable dude who's upset over the past and now he's just kind of like rambling low key. But generally speaking, the idea of a 30-year-old being friends and chilling with a 19-year-old sounds crazy. And I think that Bruce used this to help push his campaign. It's a very convincing campaign, at least if you don't use nuance. College, trades, real world jobs are mixed age environments. When I was working fast food, I was in a mixed age environment. Streaming is also a mixed age environment. So while yes, on the surface you could say, what do they even have in common? Life itself will show you that's not true. There are environments where age gaps can appear, and streaming is one of them. The thing they have in common is literally their profession. I'm big on protecting young people. I just haven't seen any compelling evidence that paints Rage as a predator in the way Bruce is insinuating. I don't agree with blindly labeling anybody as a predator over a vendetta. I also think you can have respectful age gap friendships. And as far as I can tell, Rage has taken the mentor role with a bit of corniness mixed in. The issue is that people turn this situation into media for media, with both sides posting insane things about the other. What comes to mind immediately is this Bruce screenshot. And even though it's crazy, he was a child when he did this. I'm not here to argue over decade-old screenshots. If you want to get on Bruce's head, just mention the fact he's friends with Aiden Ross or Ian Connor. He can't say shit, okay? But his community didn't hold back, and one of the things they did was post these comments under a post congratulating Lala and J Cinco's child.
Would you believe the comments that are on my story? I don't know if they're still there. I deleted some of them, but like,
excuse me.
gang, they were making jokes on the baby too, gang. There's no limits with these niggas, gang. There's no limits with these niggas, bro.
Bro, come on. We all know
They
that
were
some
talking
babies
about
look
the
crazy
child.
when they come out.
I don't even want to say the things that they were saying, but like, disgusting. They were talking about their jit.
If it isn't abundantly clear, this isn't about exposing a predator, it's about winning the streamer beef. I'm not even against evidence proving Rage has been weird to Yana. It's just the evidence they have sucks. And letting a newborn baby be the target of your vitriol is crazy. And that's exactly why this beef isn't serious anymore. It's just calm be calm war.
What's inappropriate? It's the way I have two brothers, and that's exactly.
I'm sorry.
Damn, that is a bad habit, bro. We can't look at people now?
First of all, I seen your boyfriend on your story.
I'm fucked up right now, nigga. Free my twin.
I gotta vet him. I gotta talk to that nigga. Set that up. I gotta talk to that nigga. You know what I'm saying? Big bro gotta approve.
And don't get me wrong, these clips are a little funny and they do look a little bad, but outside of Yana, these women are older than 19. And the Yana clips have no audio and are slowed down. There's clearly a lot of intention behind making these clips look as damning as possible. And as for the big bro gotta approve, it's a little corny. You might think it's a little weird, but none of us can blindly label someone as a predator just because we see a bunch of 10-second snippets of full streams being edited by people who are literally trying to win a streamer war. These are people from Roos's community who are trying to grasp at straws. Like, for example, there's a caption that says 30-year-old Your Rage was tearing up after his 19-year-old little sister found out about his girlfriend, but they're literally referencing Senna. I'm pretty sure this was during the time when everybody was teasing Senna and Rage's relationship, which is the thing Rage is trying to avoid with Yana by calling her his little sister. And in this clip, Yana is literally just expressing how Rage supported her, but it has this caption trying to paint it out as something different.
Worker. And you were the best freaking big brother I've ever had before.
Thank you.
Collabing with you made me feel wanted too. Like, that was the first collab where I felt like, wow, like someone actually wants to collab with me this time.
Y'all can't continuously disregard what Yana is saying. I understand DEO and Wired you're beefing, but you can't go off vibes and insinuate someone's a predator, because when you make false accusations, just like the boy who cried wolf, when the actual issue is present, nobody is going to believe you. Let's talk about the weirdest clip of them all. Rage has this video on his channel called Girl Made Me Eat My Own Nuts Storytime, and in this video, there was a very weird section where Rage seemingly admits to finishing without her knowing.
It was my ex-girlfriend, TK. You know who she is. Not the last girl I talked to. Yeah, my ex-girlfriend, bro. Right. So there was a time. I ain't gonna lie. I was nutting in her shit. Right.
Is she really a girl if you ain't busting her a couple times?
No. Here's the thing. I was grind like.
Where?
She didn't know, dog.
Oh, you.
She didn't know. Like, it was one of those. Okay, look.
I seen the full video. It's weird. From his own mouth, he said his shorty didn't know. But before I elaborate on my thoughts, let me show you Rage's explanation.
They even trying to ruin the story times, bro. That was his classics, my nigga. Bro, they on Twitter. They trying to say I sexually assaulted one of my ex-girlfriends, my nigga. My girlfriend of 2 years. Back then, like 10 years ago. She wanted to get on birth control because, look, it might be every session we was 3, 4, 5 nuts. When we was tired, I ain't gonna blame it on me being tired. I just ain't have the second round in me, chat. I ain't have round 2 in me. She fell asleep, there was no round 2. She woke me up in the middle of my sleep asking for her round 2. So I was like, I bet, you deserve, you right, you didn't get your round 2, let me give her a round 2. But I forgot we had fallen asleep. So when I went to go eat her, it smelled like nothing. I almost threw up, gang. That was the story, bro.
Keep that first section in mind where Rage is talking about how these guys are trying to ruin the story times and how this is nothing more than smears from the DEO community. Rage's story is that he and his shorty were like rabbits, and she likes to go 2 rounds. And
I don't need to hear the story again. When you call out your age, especially if he has zero problem being friends with Ian Carter. Fair. This is a really weird drama. Like, why are streamers so weird, guys? Like, I'm so sorry. AnnieMWP is 40 years old? Stop. Stop. Pause. Okay, thank God she's 30. Oh my gosh. I was like, girl, that's kind of crazy. Okay. 40-year-old used up AnnieMWP trying to clout chase on 17-year-old Rakai. Who is this person, bro? I'm just paving the way for my slimes. Got goals to reach, people to enlighten. Bro, don't enlighten anybody. Oh my god, he has so many videos. I'm so gagged. Did I watch any? Because I've been seeing these freaking thumbnails. I don't like how he's talking about women. Yeah, no, I don't like this. Don't recommend me this person. How do I do that whole don't recommend this person to me? Because if this man don't hate women, then this man hates women. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't... No, thank you. Anyways, if you guys didn't know, you can actually make things not recommended. And I was liking Antonio talks, but then like, I'm all for, like, you know, everybody is a different ethnicity. We're all different shades. It's beautiful shit, right? I just feel like he truthfully don't like Caucasians. And I can only handle so much of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really get down with racism on any side. Or prejudice, I should say. On any side. It's a lot for me. It's a lot. Oh my god. Why? Not what is this? Okay. What? Why are you putting what? It's like, I want to show up online. Why? I don't know. Bad childhood. Gotta be that. And I wanna, like, you know, converse with people, have community and shit. But then, like, I'm looking at my cohorts here. I'm looking at my freaking, what is it called? Co-workers, you could say. And, like, what the why is everybody focused on, like bedrooms? Like, I don't, like, bro, there's other things in the world. In the heck? I've just got to scrub it. I've just got to scrub my FYP, bro. I've got to scrub it down. Okay. So if you don't know, I love cults. I love researching cults.
I just built a budgeting app with Base 44.
It's funny to
Nina just built an app.
I don't know why.
We can all build apps now?
Get out! Get
What are you doing? And I personally feel like Scientology, like if I could meme and be in there, I would do it. You know what I'm saying? If I could, like, meme it out, I would. But they're scary. So, don't...
So teenagers on TikTok are waging war on the religion of Scientology. And it's pretty funny, because storming the Scientology building has become its own speedrun category, equipped with Subway Surfers music to match the absurdity of the concept. And because of how insane this is, I had to do my own research and look into Scientology to understand exactly why people are doing this. And what I've learned is that Scientology is basically a cult, and whatever is in that building is something worth hiding. We got a lot of weird stuff to talk about today, twin, so go get some plantains. Comment for the algorithm. Now, before we get into any of this speedrunning stuff, let's just start with what exactly Scientology is. I'm gonna give y'all a quick summary of the religion, and then I'm gonna play a TikTok, and it's gonna give you a few more details. Scientology is a religion founded by an author named Ron Hubbard, and this religion has the belief that humans are immortal beings called Thetans who endlessly reincarnate until they reach enlightenment. accounting for 2025 inflation, which would make it over $500,000. And these prices ain't advertised often either. It sounds like some snake oil shit. You buy enlightenment. You break the reincarnation cycle by coughing up $1 million.
Yeah.
Everyone kind of knows about Scientology now, but I don't think people actually understand how fucking batshit crazy Scientology actually is.
First of all, the founder, L. Ron Hubbard, suffers from something called malignant narcissism. Not just a guy who looks at himself in the mirror every chance he gets. A fucking malignant narcissist. I didn't even know that malignant narcissism was a thing. I thought they just called tumors that. He also believed in some ancient alien lord named Xenu. They describe him like he's a fucking Star Wars villain. He's an ancient galactic ruler who 75 million years ago brought billions of humans to Earth. Then they call this Tigiak, which sounds like a Timu version of Hawk Tuah. They say he killed all these humans near volcanoes with hydrogen bombs, and now their spirits known as body thetans cling on to humans. When you join Scientology, you sign your entire life away. And your spirit for 1 billion years. Scientologists are encouraged to donate to the religion because apparently it is a spiritual exchange. Scientologists believe you can access your past life, and in order to reach that point, they need to give you one-on-one coursing and audits like they're a fucking Discord course seller. The church says your donations cover the delivery costs of the spirits.
And the founder was a malignant narcissist, which is crazy. But I will say, one of the cooler aspects of Scientology is this thing called exteriorization, which is when you
see why I love cults. Like, it's always started by the craziest person you could ever think, and then they get a bunch of power, and then they go even more insane.
achieve the ability to disconnect from the body spiritually while having full control. And like I said, it is very cool, or at least it sounds very cool, until you realize it's functionally the same as disassociation. And after scrolling through Reddit and doing brief research, I came across this reply under a post that likened it to
it felt ethereal, and it opened up my mind, but then closed off parts of my mind to painful reality. But, okay, then it closed off parts of my mind to painful reality. There is no actual visual, just a vision of what the room might look like from another perspective, and a feeling of weight being lifted. When it's over after a few hours or days, reality comes sneaking back in, life gets heavy, and I would wish I was high again. What in the world? Going into shock to avoid trauma? Lordy, lordy, lordy. Alright.
a high feeling that merely numbs the heaviness of life. Them boys was getting fried off of dissociation. And according to the post, this was one of the main things keeping people in the cult, because the leaders would encourage you to continue after you crash from dissociating so much, so you continue getting number. In other words, this religion encourages its followers to be in a constant state of dissociation, self-inflicted dissociation, which to me sounds like some sort of autonomous drugging that they built into the doctrine to keep people out of their right minds. And with all this context, I think it's easy to see why niggas are storming their buildings. And now it's a good time to go over some videos. One of the first videos that I seen was this dude just tweaking out and performing on a wall in what looks like a jester costume.
Why is he hopping?
I don't even know the context of this for real, but given the already existing weirdness around this cult, it makes sense. If you're making a religion that preys on people's vulnerabilities and you sell them enlightenment, you're gonna attract weirdos. And you might even attract a manic 16-year-old.
How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Oh, I'm a Scientology! We're in Scientology! Get out! Get out! Get out! Get out, bro! It's a cult! Get out! Get out!
Oh my god! No, this doesn't work at all, sir. You're doing the opposite.
Oh, don't grab me, bro! Don't grab me! Don't touch me! Don't touch me! Don't touch me! Get out! Don't touch me! 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 Don't touch me!
Admittedly, I see how obnoxious this would be, but is he wrong? It seems pretty right. I will say though, I was having a hard time understanding what was the end goal with this trend. I don't really care if a cult is getting trolled, but I've seen a variety of reasons people are doing this. Some people are just trying to get deep into the building, while others are trying to expose the secrets within it.
Let's go. I'm wallahi, I'm going in here. I'm
What is
wallahi.
happening?
I'm wallahi. I'm wallahi, I'm going in here. Where's Xenu? Xenu's not here.
Zeno's not here. He's out right now?
Okay, I'll go on the other one.
You want to leave a message or?
And like I said, some people definitely view it as a game. These niggas are doing a duo Scientology speedrun with them goofy sound effects. But near the end of the video, it's blurred. And that's not by me nor the original creator. And I got this video off of Twitter, which means a third party did it. And in my research, I learned that Scientology has a reputation for being quite secretive. TikTokers even started mapping the building out, which surprises me because I didn't think that there were any goals beyond just trolling.
This is a big part of it, though.
It definitely is a big part of it, because immediately after this trend went viral, niggas started Mr. Beastifying it. Well, maybe I shouldn't say Mr. Beastifying it, because this dude is using homeless people for content.
In homeless army.
Wait, we need to hit this place. We're on rain bet.
You need to leave. It's a private property, sir.
We won on rain bet. Zenu. Go.
And I might have to make a video about how gambling companies took over short form content, because this is ridiculous. He gathered a bunch of homeless people, took them to the Scientology building, and had them chanting about how they wanted Xenu. And Xenu is a high ranking Thetan who's also an extraterrestrial, and he's part of the Scientology religion.
What are you talking about?
Bro, I don't even know. But one of my favorite videos is when these group of kids go 5 deep in the Scientology building with air horns, and they get pretty far.
Gag. Honestly, that would disarm anybody. That is so, what's it called? So alarming. Whoa, they're getting pretty far. Oh, shit. Oh, no!
Get out!
You're trying.
No, you're trespassing. Get out of the building. Get out of the building. Stop it.
They damn near ran over that man, and they had them people yelling at them to get out. And honestly, I wonder if these people will ask themselves when they're gonna get out, because let's be real, Scientology is a mental trap. There is no way to get salvation via physical currency that was created by imperfect beings. I know these predatory religions prey on the vulnerable, but to anyone watching, even though I'm not religious, just be free, be yourself, exist as you are, and do it in the way that makes you feel the best, and you will reach enlightenment.
If you're not using a business travel platform like Navan, you're really missing out. Hi, I'm Ellie, and I'm the...
But I knew this shit reached peak Fortnite when Jesus and a group of people in costumes stormed the building.
Hey, go!
Jesus and friends? You gotta be joking.
Go!
Where are they going? Stop!
Finish it!
And this was definitely the breaking point. Someone dressed up as Sonic the Hedgehog and stormed the Scientology
Starts
building. I
emoting.
think niggas definitely had enough, because the police were investigating the speedrunning now. These kids have gotten the attention of the authorities because they're dressing up as Christianity's savior and storming the building of the Thetans. And the Scientologists went a step further and removed the handles on their doors. These people removed their door handles to stop kids from speedrunning and storming their buildings. I mean, how many times are you gonna hear that? That's a 2026 phrase right there. And then these Scientologists hired security to stand and watch the door because of all the speedrunning. And one of the weirdest forms of defenses that they used was locking arms together.
They were locking arms like this, so we look. I have a video. What? Look, it was weird, so we were just looking. Like, it was the weirdest
Is this about to be a video of a video?
Look.
Hold on. Oh,
You see how like they're just locking arms? Yeah, of course.
Guys, look at that.
I assume they did this to block people's vision. I'm not
What
sure.
am I looking
But
at?
as far as this viral trend goes, I think it's pretty funny. I don't really feel sympathy, especially when this organization is just taking advantage of people. They're trying to sell them enlightenment. They're trying to sell them comfort. And I don't respect that. These niggas are charging $500,000 to make
What religion isn't doing that? I'm so confused.
people feel secure. That's weird. And they're wondering why teenagers are dressing up as Jesus and blowing air horns while they raid their buildings. But that's really all I had to say though. Subscribe for more unsolicited opinions. Well, y'all niggas be blessed. I'm gonna get up out of here. Bye bye.
That's a high quality video right there, guys. That's some high quality content right there. So, wow, he's not rolling loud? I'm so gagged. Wait, how do you get to rolling loud? Do you have to, like, be... Perform at rolling. From the block to the stage, homie. From the block to I don't know what's wrong with me. Okay, submissions are closed. Amazing. How can I do it? Okay, scouted, but artists can submit music through official channels or participate in From the Block to the Stage. Right. We love. Not the scams. Okay. Right. Main stage performance. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought you had to pay. I really thought these artists had to pay to do that. Because you know how, like, with the Met Gala, they have to pay, like, a crazy amount in order to go? Oh, I'm so fucking gagged. It happened already? Oh, shit. Well, let's take a little peeky. Hold on. Oh, there was a fight? Uh-huh. Extremely solid. Careful about their privacy. Love that for them. There was a verbal fight. Seemed happy and comfortable together as they walked. Seemed to unravel. Gag. Ooh. Not her going, you don't care for me, do you? But damn, I like them as a couple. Damn. All right. Anyway, back to things that also don't matter. Cost. That's what I wanted. Business Insider. Let's get the inside tip, guys. What the fuck? Get out of here, bro. It's like I want to read articles, but like ads are crazy right now. Okay. Individual. I sincerely can't fathom that number being associated with a ticket, with a piece of paper. Okay. Back to it, bro. That's so crazy, man. I'm so stressed. Okay, scaremogging America. Right. I just... I meant to watch
First
this.
of all, create a new project and select the type of look you want. Their library is created to suit.
Oh, I love the American Constitution. It's
Yeah.
one of the great documents of American I bet you thought I was going to say of American history, but no.
Big
it's
brains.
just one of the great documents. It laid out how the first true, large democratic experiment would work, and it really gets into that spirit which has defined America. The self-determination, the rule of man, the equality for everybody. I know what you're thinking. Let's put it in Africa and see what happens. Because if you thought that, you'd share something in common with those who tried another great experiment of American history, exporting its values and constitution. I'm talking about the first democratic republic in Africa, Liberia. If you want a spoiler, it ended in one of the worst civil wars in modern history and the end of that constitution. Liberia was originally founded
I'm so gagged. Oh no, Liberia. Wow. Yeah. I'm so
Founded
gagged.
as a mini United States on the west coast of Africa, which can be seen in its national symbols, its cultural attitudes, and of course, its form of government.
That's that food. That food look good. Hold on. Hold on. Anyway, what was I gonna say? So like, I never really thought about the Constitution as like being the blueprint. I never really thought about it like that. But yeah, that makes sense. Damn, I can't believe they already tried it in Africa and it ended up with the Civil War. I mean, that's the same thing that happened with us, but then we just kind of settled with capitalism. We're still settling with capitalism. So y'all let me know when we're done settling. Anyway.
And of course, its form of government. It's also a country that, like the USA,
why did he put eyebrows on that, man?
Has always been defined by the politics of race. Imagine this. It's 1808 and the United States has just banned the slave trade. Not owning slaves, of course, only the act of transporting slaves from Africa.
Right.
A significant portion of the country is made of freed and non-freed black men and women. What do they do now? Sure, many plantation owners saw this population as temporary workers, but they'd been in America for generations by now. Well, a growing coalition of people suggested they should return to Africa and create a new nation. This coalition brought all sorts of people together. Slave owners, abolitionists, clergymen, black nationalists, white nationalists, for all sorts of reasons like giving economic and political freedom to former slaves or segregation across ocean lines. Not even a decade after the slave trade's ban, the American Colonization Society was formed, a group dedicated to the colonization of Africa, aka the resettlements of black Americans to Africa. And it got some pretty big names to join. Henry Clay, Richard Kane, Daniel Webster, Bushrod Washington. Okay, you might not know them, but I swear they were important guys. You might know Presidents James Madison and James Monroe, though, who were both leading figures in the ACS. Him, while he was president. So this idea had a lot of institutional support within America, with Congress even offering $100,000 for the establishment of Liberia.
Gag! I'm so gagged. So, okay, hold on. Let me see if I get this right. Let me see if I'm checking my facts right. Right. Let me get my car facts going on. You're telling me that we got a bunch of African Americans and a bunch of other professionals to go back to Africa with $100,000 back in God knows what time. I don't know what time period this is. And it didn't go well? Damn, bro. Like, that's so much money back then. They could have made, like, infrastructure, fucking, the potty system. I forgot what it's called. Schools, you know?
Here on Sherbro Island in 1822, with a whopping 86 people on board.
Right.
Over the next few decades, more and more ships would come over to this area on the West African coast to create their own settlements, buying land from and warring with local tribes.
Oh.
For example, this strip of land was traded from a Gola leader for the price of about $300.
Okay.
And by traded, I of course mean traded at gunpoint.
Oh my god.
So there is this situation in which black Americans settled on the coast in what would become Liberia's cities, along with some immigrants from the Caribbean and repatriated slaves from captured slave ships, and then local and tribal peoples in what was called the hinterland. In modern Liberia, 16 are officially recognized. Throughout Liberian history, this first group, which would be lumped together as Congos or Americo-Liberians, only made up around 5% of the total population, yet would have almost complete political and economic control of the country. That's because initially the country was founded only for the Americo-Liberian settlers, which there are only a few thousand of. The mass exodus of Black Americans to these settlements never happened, especially after the end of the US Civil War. So, to make up some size, the ACS merged with some other colonization societies, like this one from Maryland who joined after they were aided in fighting a war with the native Crew and Grebos. In 1838, the Commonwealth of Liberia was created to govern all of these individual settlements on the coast.
Okay.
If you want to make your own music, but you don't want to waste hours of your time scrolling, this is the plugin for you. Hey, it's Greg.
This settlement, Christopolis, would be renamed to Monrovia in honor of US President James Monroe and become the political center for the settlers. Even today, around a third of Liberians live in and around Monrovia. But ironically, because of Monroe's doctrine of separating the hemispheres into zones of American and European interest, Liberia struggled to get American support after its establishment.
Why has it always been American versus European? Like, why has that always been like the separating of the world? I can't spell for the life of me, guys. Differ significantly in lifestyle, higher income and career ambition, while Europe focuses on work-life balance. Heard. Greater economic activity, lower taxes, whereas Europe generally boasts better public health and healthcare, life expectancy. Damn. I did not know that.
USA versus Europe. Allegedly the greatest country on the face of the planet, against some place over the Atlantic which is probably right next to Paris. In this video I'm going to talk about the differences between these two places, their pros and cons, and a bit about the stereotypes, because they're fun. Okay, US. It's big, right? It's almost the same size as Europe. You may ask, what's this blue thing right next to the map? Don't mind that, it's just Texas. And here's Europe. This may come as news to some Americans, but Europe is a continent, not a country. The number of countries in Europe is debated, so I'll say it has somewhere between 44 to 50 countries. What are you looking at? Now pay attention. Europe is a patchwork of countries, all with different histories, economies, and living standards. The Greeks, the Dutch, and Ukrainians are nothing alike. So when I say Europe during the video, I'm heavily generalizing for the purposes of this video. So okay, let's just get into it. For starters, here's how an average European sees the US. Well, this is New York, Texas is right here, and that's the state of Los Angeles. This thing that looks like a is Miami, and this is the Midwest, right? Yeah, that's the whole US. And here's how an American sees the European continent. This is England, Paris, France should be here, this is where the Soviets live, Germany, maybe, IKEA, and this is the Czechlo something. In Europe, they have this thing called public transit. It's cheap, it's everywhere, and often you'll see people of all income brackets using it. You can also bike or go around on foot, since most cities are pedestrian friendly. You'll even see school kids using the public transit to go to school. Also, in many countries, they're often sent out alone on various errands. In the US though, the only distance you go on foot is from your bed to the bathroom and from your front porch to your car. If you didn't know already, the US is super car dependent. I mean, there are a ton of drive-through fast food places, drive-in cinemas, hell, even drive-through banks at some places. But don't get me wrong, Americans love this, because the states are huge. The LA metro area is nearly the size of Portugal. Plus, this is literally what happens if you want to walk to go buy some.
I cannot. Okay, we're going back.
Towns struggled to raise the revenue needed to, well, build their cities and fight the tribes which they were constantly at war with. Most of the money they got came from duties, but the British, which had also set up an ex-slave state next door, claimed that Liberia was a society or company or something. definitely not a government. Therefore, they had no authority to collect taxes. So, in 1847,
Wait, I
the
missed
families...
that entirely. They tried to say it was a company? That's so stupid. All right, hold on.
Build their cities and fight the tribes which they were constantly at war with. Most of the money they got came from duties, but the British, which had also set up an ex-slave state next door, claimed that Liberia was a society or company or something, definitely not a government. Therefore, they had no authority to collect taxes. So, in 1847, the families of the coast banded together to declare independence from the ACS. They would found the country of Liberia, the first democratic republic in Africa, modeled largely on where many of them came over from, the United States. The Constitution of Liberia was based largely on its parent copy. It established a legislative branch with an elected Senate and House of Representatives, a president who holds supreme executive power, and a judicial branch with an American-style Supreme Court. The Declaration of Rights is filled with American classics like all men are born equal, all power is inherent to the people, and it's even got a We the People reference in its preamble. Some old throwbacks like you have to be a 21-year-old man with property to be able to vote. And some new hot takes like there shall be no slavery within this republic. There's one small provision tucked away in the miscellaneous editions though. Pull up section 13. The great object of forming these colonies is to provide a home for the dispersed and oppressed children of Africa. None but persons of color shall be admitted to citizenship in this republic. Liberia was created only for Americo-Liberians. It says it right there in the Constitution. It also says in sections 14 and 15 that you can't buy land from Native Africans and the improvement of Native lives is an object of the government. However, neither would become true. The hinterlands were ruled fairly autocratically by president-appointed paramount chiefs alongside Americo-Liberian district commissioners, creating what was essentially two separate legal systems, economies, and societies. The Americo-Liberian population spent the next century and a third monopolizing all the power in Liberia. They dressed differently, talked differently, practiced Christianity, built plantation-style homes, were the bosses on large plantation-style farms, were the only ones elected, and because native land recognition wasn't legally respected, the only ones who could vote. Economic power was monopolized with a patronage system, giving true Liberian patriots gifts like iron ore concessions, rubber farms, free labor, or tribal land. Liberia was ruled for a century as a one-party state under the True Whig Party, which was named after the American Whigs, nicknamed the Grand Old Party, and used an elephant as a symbol. At least this part makes sense since elephants actually live in Liberia. Now, legally, they weren't a one-party state. They were a beautiful pluralistic democracy like America.
Creating custom clothing with tap stitch is simple.
That the true Whigs would actively campaign during election seasons, the result of that election was decided pretty much from the start. Opposition members would be harassed and in some cases attacked and jailed. Both the newspapers in the country were owned by the government, and during the true Whig dynasty, nearly no election was what we would call free or fair. This is probably a bit of an understatement. In 1927, Charles D.B. King won an amazing 230,000 votes in a country where only around 19,000 people could legally vote. That's a 1,210% margin, a strong mandate if I've ever heard one. And don't even think about checks or balances when you're elected. Never, during true Whig rule, did the legislative branch ever initiate legislation without previous presidential approval, while court rulings were often straight up ignored. Old King wasn't too radical just like most in his party, but he did preside over a bit of a shakeup in the Americo-Liberian world. In 1930, a League of Nations report came out that the government was complicit in what was essentially slavery and a slave trade. They found forced labor practices and worker abuses on the Firestone Tire Company's rubber plantations. Labor for some public works would be diverted to high-ranking government officials and private citizens. and some crew and grebo workers were sent to the Spanish island of Fernando Po to work on cocoa plantations. Liberia was shunned from the world system and King resigned from the scandal, marking what would become the peak of Americo-Liberian domination of society. The president, not after him, but the one after him, was Liberia's longest-serving and most transformational, William Tubman. His open-door policy flooded the country with foreign investment, which promised to develop the whole country with modern infrastructure.
Why does this feel like America's, like, foundation? Just, like, speed run. Like, what is going on?
To be fair, did help Americo-Liberian businessmen the most, who could benefit from fancy roads to new plantations. And his unification policy was aimed at bringing tribal members into Liberian society. In 1945, the Constitution expanded the right to vote not just for property owners, but hut owners as well, since tribal land was only recognized to be in the name of the paramount chief. This gave the 3 hinterland provinces a whopping 6 out of 39 House seats, whereas before they had to pay to get a non-voting House member in. Native Liberians were brought into government jobs and even the armed forces, although even in the government still traditionally worked more grunt labor jobs. Making the country institutionally stronger, maybe. Institutionally weaker, perhaps. Institutionally different, yes, and a major vibe shift for sure.
Not a
And
vibe
still,
shift.
the trajectories of these two different people were too far gone after decades of neglect towards the tribes.
Damn.
In fact, many resources came from the hinterland, land and labor, but also with the introduction of a hut tax, financial and food resources as well. This would be enforced through armed troops, the frontier force which fought many uprisings throughout Liberian history. Often, they'd live off the land, staying alive through the pillage of local villages. William Tubman, great reformer, died in 1971, succeeded by William Tolbert, okay reformer. It was during his presidency when the entire Americo-Liberian system came to a collapse. The first sign of instability was when he raised the price of rice by 50%, both as a means to try to develop the interior and because his family owned the rice monopoly,
Oh my
but
God.
this ended in student, then national riots, the rice riots. It's usually a good barometer that a country is unstable when cities get burnt down from increased food prices rather than, I don't know, what we do now. Tolbert was out within a year of these protests, not by resignation, but by bullet. Who was in? Samuel Doe, who orchestrated the coup, executing him and 13 members of his government.
Dang.
One thing about Sam is he was Kron, not Americo-Liberian, and his gang was made of disgruntled tribal members who joined the previously all Americo-Liberian armed forces. While many in the outskirts were excited to have an indigenous leader, hoping for some sort of deep change in the country's political system, it
Yeah.
became pretty clear just a few years into his reign that he was going to do exactly what the true Whigs did, just for the crown instead. Another coup attempt was carried out by Thomas Kiwankpa, who
Bro.
failed, was mutilated by Doe's guards, and dragged through the streets of Monrovia.
What in the
Doe
world?
became increasingly paranoid and autocratic, persecuting members of the Gio and Mano tribes for their supposed role within the plot. As Americo-Liberians fled,
Oh my
bringing
gosh.
suitcases full of
This is just like, I just keep seeing power and greed just fucking us up every time. Oh my goodness.
hard currency with them, Krons moved en masse to the capital, and in something straight out of Animal Farm, military and government roles were filled with Kron loyalists.
Do you realize how much money this will save us? What's that? I just built a budgeting app with Base 44. Look.
Nothing was going to change.
Hi key chat. Once I'm full time with this and everything, and I got all my financial ducks in a row. I don't know. We might be going to Europe. It's crazy over here. The greed, it's crazy. It's unwell over here.
Under Dou's leadership, so the country remained unstable and ripe for yet another coup. This time, it was led by Charles Taylor, who was only half Americo-Liberian. He'd previously worked with Dou's government, but was exiled to the US after being accused of stealing around $900,000 from him. In America, because the government supported Samuel's anti-communist position, there was enough diplomatic sway to get him jailed. But somehow, he escaped to be trained in Gaddafi's Libya, sent to Cote d'Ivoire, and started a march on the capital, officially starting Liberia's civil war period, which wouldn't fully end for 14 years with Charles's next exile. Charles led the National Patriotic Front of Liberia through Nimba County, where he picked up huge support, being the people most targeted by the Dou regime massacres. The war he brought was pure chaos, extolling an unthinkable human toll. It's estimated over 200,000 people, 10% of the population, was killed, and 1 million people were displaced. Entire villages were razed. There were mass executions where members of the same tribe would be buried in mass graves, and the widespread use of the war's biggest cultural legacy, child soldiers. The NPFL would go on to control about 80% of the countryside, exploiting tribal divisions on the 6-month journey to Monrovia. During that time, multiple groups had splintered off of them, led by charismatic warlords. One of them was the independent NPFL, led by Prince Johnson. These forces, ULIMO, couldn't even stay together, so they splintered off into
I'm so over humanity right now. What in the world? Bro. Can't wait for the title and thumbnail to change 20 plus times. That's so funny. Wait, what? I'm not about to get sad about how Africa doesn't think there's a future.
For whatever reason, the internet loves the bigger it is, the louder it is, the more expensive it looks, the better it performs. Look at the top of Twitch right now. It's flooded with million-dollar mansions, celebrity subathons, streamers buying their 10th dream car. Everything seems to be built around the question, how much money can we burn on camera? And then there's this guy. Queso is interesting, because on paper, he's doing almost everything wrong. His production quality is kind of garbage.
Queso, where'd he come from? 200,000 viewers playing Fall Guys yesterday.
Yeah, it wasn't even zoomed in or cropped.
His setup isn't designed to be some massive content machine. Half the time he's live, he's playing some random game most people have never even heard of.
Your costume sucks, kid.
I mean, when your entire job is getting people to watch you, you don't turn down a Mr. Beast video. But Queso did.
Queso did not respond to my message.
And somehow, despite doing the opposite of what the internet tells creators they're supposed to do, he's still one of the biggest streamers on the planet. How does that happen? The honest
He didn't even respond. We've got to give him his flowers. We've got to
answer is that none of this should have worked, because Queso's had the odds stacked against him since day one. Case Baker grew up in rural Arkansas. His hometown has a population just over 1,500. It's the kind of place where a new Walmart makes the front page, and where the churches outnumber the stoplights. Towns like that don't have a lot going on. So, as a quiet kid, Case did what quiet kids in quiet towns have always done. He disappeared into a screen, in this case a PlayStation, Call of Duty on repeat. And when YouTube started blowing up in the early 2010s, he was right there watching Nadeshot and the Optic guys build something that didn't exist a decade earlier. He watched gaming turn from a thing you did after school into an actual career.
Well, how does this sound? Making a living and even a small fortune just playing video games.
The biggest names were clearing their parents' annual salaries in a single weekend. And after watching that, it became Case's dream job. The problem was, he knew the odds, especially in his situation. His Wi-Fi was barely good enough to even watch YouTube. Uploading to it or streaming on Twitch, forget it. So he buried it. He graduated high school, bounced between jobs, often working 2 at a time, just to keep the lights on. For 6 years. 6 years of clocking in somewhere he didn't want to be. 6 years of watching other guys his age blow up online doing the exact same thing he'd given up on.
Yeah.
By the end of it, Case was broke,
I know that
burnout.
grind.
He was one bad week away from walking into a recruiter's office and signing up for the military. Then his mom stepped in, and she asked him the question that changed everything. Why not take a real shot at the whole streaming thing? What's the worst that happens? Now, streaming is one of the most competitive jobs on the planet, and if you're like Case, trying to pursue it full time, you need to understand, there's levels to this.
There is a lot about the job isn't actually that fun that I have now automated away.
Level 1, you can quit your job. Level 2, you're living large. And at level 3, you're the top 1% of the top 1%. Now, there's no direct translation from Twitch viewers to money, so for the sake of the example, we're gonna say you reach level 1 at around 100 viewers. Once you're there, you can take the leap to streaming full time, which getting there sounds totally reasonable. It's not. Somehow convincing 100 people to watch you live is brutal. In the past year, 18.4 million people opened up Twitch and broadcasted live on the platform. I want you to guess how many of them actually made it to level 1. Seriously, throw a number out there.
1.
The answer is 165,536. That's less than 1%. For every person who gets to level 1, there's 100 that don't. Every big streamer you see today spent days, weeks, if not months streaming to an audience of 0. I mean, take Jinxie for example. He streamed to just 5 viewers for a year and a half before he ever made it.
5 viewers? He's grinding!
And I'm throwing all of these numbers at you for a reason, because without them, you wouldn't understand how truly insane what happens next is. Okay, so hate to interrupt myself here, but let's say you're like Queso and don't love your day job. Maybe you're not all that interested in streaming, but you've got a business idea WAP or pulling in more than 3 while you're working. So if you're stuck in a job you hate, go to WAP.com to start your business today.
Because in like 24 hours, y'all took me from nothing to crazy.
You see, Queso hit level 1 in the first hour of his first ever stream, and he didn't just get lucky.
Hey, y'all came through deep from the top, man.
In the days before he went live for the first time, Queso was already laying the groundwork. He spent days filming and editing clips of him playing NBA 2K23. And on September 10th, 2022, he uploaded 22 videos to TikTok. The next morning, he woke up to over 10,000 followers and a comment section flooded with one question. So that night, he went live for the first time and the floodgates opened.
When I look down and I see 126 viewers, bro, I cannot believe it.
From that day on, he followed the same routine. Clock into the 9 to 5, hit the second job, cut a few lawns, then come home and stream until he couldn't keep his eyes open.
I don't want to go sleep, man. I don't want to go to work, man.
It'd be
I want another build, dog. All I want to do is make builds and play 2K forever. Why do I gotta go work?
After each stream, he'd find the best moments, clip them, and fire them back onto TikTok. The loop fed itself. Inside a week, he'd blown past 100,000 TikTok followers. Every stream was pulling 500 plus concurrent views.
Why am I not doing this? Chat, tell me why I am not doing this shit. It's because I'm dumb as hell.
Viewers.
Dude said call the boss quit, this your life now, cuz? Dude, imagine.
And the number that actually mattered, he was making more money streaming at night than he was at his day job.
And no, y'all literally just donated more than I make in a week in one night. Bruh.
But Queso kept his head on straight. What shows up overnight can also disappear overnight. So before he quit his day job, he needed proof that this wasn't a fluke. So he made a deal with his chat, hit 5,000 Twitch subs, and he'd quit his job.
This is a day we're gonna remember forever, you feel me? This is a day we gonna remember forever. You know I love y'all, man. Thank you, bro. It's all y'all, you feel me? Thank you, man. Full-time Queso in the building, and I'm laying in their mouth, too.
Within just a few weeks, it was a done deal. Case's fan base was new, but dedicated, and they wanted to see him pursue this thing full-time.
Like I said, I've been dreaming of wanting to, be a streamer, a content creator since I was 13 years old. I finally took the leap, bro. I finally took the leap, and y'all came through for you, boy. For real, y'all came through crazy.
No, it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows from here. His internet was still garbage, like genuinely bad. Streams would lag or even just end because the connection bottomed out.
Do you see what I deal with?
And when you're trying to build an audience, that's the kiss of death. If your stream ends, they move on to the next. Eventually, numbers started slipping. For a couple months, it looked like maybe the whole thing was a fluke. Maybe the bubble had already popped.
You know, I've seen the numbers when I very first started. You know, the hype was there because I first blew up. Had like 800 viewers every night. Then y'all seen it dip to like, 100, 150. I was like, I gotta do something different or it's gonna go under.
Then he picked up a different game, Hogwarts Legacy. It was kind of a weird choice. It had a totally different audience from the 2K. That's the difference between level 2 and level 3. While it seems just inside the top 1,000. If you're
it's gonna go under.
Then he picked up a different game, Hogwarts Legacy. It was kind of a weird choice. It had a totally different audience from the 2K crowd he'd built, but he streamed it anyway, clipped a moment, and posted it to TikTok.
Well, I see the sun peeking through the window a little bit. Sleep schedule gone now. Gotta make Hufflepuff proud, though. Hey, it is what it is, man.
That one video alone pulled in over 18 million views. Just like that, he's back. Viewership climbs to 600, keeps climbing, month after month. Every week, another clip going viral, another wave of new viewers funneling straight into the stream. The snowball was rolling again. By May 2023, Queso was averaging over 2,500 viewers, a legitimate name in streaming culture.
If you don't know who he is, you gotta be living under a rock.
And this is level 2. At level 2, you're starting to live large. You're in big boy money territory.
Whoa,
At this
big
point,
boy
you're
money?
not going to bed afraid the whole thing vanishes overnight. With over 2,500 average viewers, Queso was sitting somewhere just inside the top 1,000 streamers on Twitch. Incredible by any measure, but remember, Twitch is stacked top heavy. And when I say top heavy, I mean it.
Yeah, it is.
At any given moment, there are about 3 million users on Twitch watching content. When you break down the viewer distribution by channel rank, the picture gets pretty clear. Out of the millions of channels on the platform, the top 250 pull over half the viewership. That's the difference between level 2 and level 3. While it seems like the easiest jump on the ladder here, it's actually the most difficult. There's a specific blueprint nearly every streamer has followed to make this jump. Here, I'll break it down for you. What you're looking at right now is 5 of the biggest streamers on the planet. Each at the moment they were averaging exactly 2,500 viewers. Pay attention to the setups. None of them are exciting. The rooms are pretty basic, the camera quality kinda sucks. There's no
2,500
production value. They look like what they are, just guys streaming from their bedrooms. Now fast forward to when those same streamers are pulling 10,000 viewers a night. Everything's changed. The lighting's dialed in. The cameras are crisp. The rooms look intentional. This is the blueprint kicking in. And it all starts with one realization. At this level, streaming isn't just a job anymore. It's a business. And like a business, the goal is to make as much money as possible. The internet, for whatever reason, craves a spectacle. And the spectacle game is pretty easy to play. You've kind of just got to spend money to make money. The setup is just the start. Next comes the move to LA. Buy the mansion, drop the I just bought my dream car video. Hire a dozen editors to pump out clips around the clock. By the time you're clearing 50,000 viewers, it turns into an optimization race. Every stream, every upload, every second of content is engineered to milk the cash cow. The longer you stay on the top, the more efficient it becomes. And weirdly, the more the internet praises you for it. But the spectacle only works if people are still looking. Relevancy is the whole game. The second your numbers dip, the money goes with it. So you're forced to stay visible. You hit the podcast circuit, impulsive on Monday and blank on Thursday. You show up to every mainstream streamer event. You become a permanent fixture in the conversation because the conversation is the product. And the fastest way to stay in the conversation is to stand next to someone bigger than you. Take those same 5 streamers and pull up their biggest streams of all time. Ninja, Fortnite with Drake, Hayden Ross, the Donald Trump interview, Kai Cenat, the LeBron stream that pulled over 1 million concurrent viewers. That's the blueprint. I'm not necessarily saying it's bulletproof or guaranteed, but it's the safe route. Every streamer who's made it to the top 250 has run some version of that exact playbook based on constant evolution. But Queso ignored this approach altogether. His strategy is quite literally the opposite in just about every possible sense. The last time we talked about Queso, he was fresh off of Hogwarts, averaging 2,500 viewers. So let's run that same comparison from earlier and fast forward to when he's at 10,000. Not much has changed. I mean, sure, he did buy a new house, but he moved from a trap house to a trailer just across town. Either way, at the end of the day, his computer monitor is still being held up with a vacuum cleaner.
If I don't have the vacuum cleaner holding up the back of the monitor, it'll fall over. And then back here are my PCs. You can tell they're being held up by books as well.
And the camera quality seems to somehow have gotten worse.
Chat, my stream quality is actually so crispy. It looks like it's in 4K.
Since Hogwarts, he's continued to stream 4 to 6 nights a week. Same time, same chat, rotating through whatever random games he feels like. Supermarket Simulator, Granny, Dress to Impress.
What is this? Why is it on my front page? Playing it.
Games a normal person wouldn't think to stream. But then you watch for 5 minutes and you start to get it.
This is the funniest dude on the internet right now.
Just plays the most random everything.
Queso, where did he come from? 200,000 viewers playing Fall Guys yesterday.
Because the game isn't the point. The chat isn't there for the games. They're there to watch him fall out of his chair for the 10th time this month and narrate it like he's describing a car accident.
Yo, that almost killed me. Oh! Yo! Chat! The chair is dead, dude!
To watch him get jump scared by a horror game and scream at a volume that blows out the mic. and that's why it worked. By January of 2024, Queso was averaging over 50,000 concurrent viewers every single night, making him the #3 ranked streamer on all of Twitch.
Like, my mind is weird. Like, in my mind, I still don't have the thought of, like, I still made it. Yeah. Because in my mind, I feel like if I have that thought and tell myself that I made it, you don't want to get, like, lazy. It's going to go downhill. Yeah. You know what I mean?
By every metric the industry actually uses, Queso is underperforming. He's leaving growth on the table at every possible turn. He doesn't invest in new setups, he doesn't upgrade his gear, and has no real plan to optimize himself. Every analyst will tell you he could be twice the size he is if he just ran the playbook like everyone else. And honestly, they're probably right. But here's the thing. Queso never looked at any of that and felt like he was losing something. Buying a house in the hills, pulling up in a supercar, collecting all the things that say you've made it. None of that ever seemed to be important to him. And there's nothing wrong with wanting those things. A lot of creators go in with exactly that goal in mind. But Queso sits in this rare category of someone who actually reached the I made it moment and genuinely doesn't want it.
It was never about, like, being huge, just like, because it didn't matter the money. You know, I just wanted to do what I loved for a living. I could be, you know, pinching pennies to make it, but as long as I get to stream every day instead of go to work, I was cool with that. Yeah.
But to be clear, it's not like he's allergic to money. He's the #3 streamer on Twitch. The guy is doing just fine. But there's a difference between making money and squeezing every last cent out of your audience. He's never done any kind of subathon, he doesn't say yes to every brand that comes knocking, and he doesn't manufacture drama to give the numbers a little bump. The way he sees it, you can't leave money on the table if it was never what you sat down for.
Some of my most favorite jobs I ever had were the jobs where I was making pennies. Yo, I'm not even finna lie to y'all. I think y'all just donated more than my week's paycheck in one night. I'm talking about sitting in the parking lot of the dollar store, having to call my mom, be like, hey, can you spot me $50 for food for the rest of the week? But you know what? I was happy. Like, if I could turn this into something, and just be able to do this with y'all every day, that'd be a dream come true. Yeah, I was broke, but it was all right because the job was cool. Dude, I'm not worried about Twitch ad revenue. I would rather people have a good viewing experience than make an extra, you know, whatever a month.
So that's the money half of the blueprint. The mansion, the supercar, the optimization strategy. But the blueprint isn't only about money. The other half of the blueprint is relevancy. The streaming world has a short memory, and the way you fight that is by staying in the conversation. Podcasts, events, collabs, it all comes down to the same idea. Stand next to someone bigger than you, and you get to share some of their spotlight. Well, if you thought he was underperforming on the money side of the blueprint, just listen to this. In 3 years as one of the biggest streamers on the planet, he's done exactly one traditional collab. Jinxie.
What's the furthest you've ever traveled?
Florida, and that was one time to go to Jinxie's house.
And that collab is, almost word for word, the only existing footage of Queso outside of his own house.
My friend brought this up yesterday to me when we were chilling. He said it's crazy that Jinxie has the only recorded footage of me outside of my own stream setup. Like, he is the only one that's got me out of my room.
Matter of fact, it was the first time he'd ever left the state he was born in.
So this is the first time you've ever been out of, like, Florida? Or out of Arkansas, my bad. Wow.
It's just, I don't know, I'll be getting homesick. I get away from home for too long, I'm just, man, I don't know.
Over the last 3 years, Queso has won 5 different awards.
And the streamer award goes to...
Queso!
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 He hasn't shown up to a single one in person.
Mr. Beast tweeted you? Oh, yeah, I talked to him, yeah. I can't even go on a Mr. Beast video due to fear of airplanes. Ain't that bad, chat?
According to the blueprint, all of those things just come with the territory of being in the top 1%. But Queso is avoiding all of it. And when you stack it all up, not going to award shows, turning down the collabs, even the fact that he's only left the state of Arkansas once, you start to wonder if there's more to it than just not caring.
What else could it be?
Imagine being able to reach 15 million views on the first video of a new YouTube channel. You start at 0 subscribers.
Chat, I didn't tell y'all this, bro. When I was changing setups to go from the trap house into the trailer, I was literally a mental wreck for like a week straight. Because I don't know if anybody else has this, but dude, I have like some form of horrific OCD that I've had for years, that if something even minor changes, I'm gonna die.
You see, OCD is one of the most misunderstood conditions out there. People hear the word and picture someone who just likes things clean and organized. And while that can be a part of it, that's not exactly what it is. At its core, OCD is anxiety. For Queso, moving into a new house meant moving into an environment that was full of variables his brain hadn't had the chance to map out yet.
Like when I take my hat off and put it on the counter, same spot every night. If it goes in a different spot, I'm dead.
Everything becomes unpredictable, and for someone with OCD, an unpredictable environment is one thing that can't be controlled. Each unknown stacks on top of the last until his brain is sent into overdrive.
Chad, here's some lore for you. Every time I would leave to work in the morning, I would go outside my house and I would have to check that my doorknob was locked 37 times. I would have to start my drive to work, take a block back around to my house and check it another 11 times. And then I could go to work.
Which explains why his setup has barely changed over the years.
Yeah.
It's one of the places where his brain already knows the answers to all the questions. It's his rules at his pace, all in an environment that makes him most comfortable. But that need for predictability doesn't stay contained to his house. It follows him everywhere.
I went out in public 3 times in a row. I got recognized all 3 times. I never went outside again, bro. Like some people, bro, came up like, hey, yo, can I get a picture? Everybody started looking. I'm like, oh man, dude, I was about to pass out, man.
No, that's fair.
Outside of that room, he controls nothing. Who's around him, how they got there, whether someone grabs his shoulder before he sees it coming. None of it is up to him.
I don't go out in public. I don't. Never.
When he's at home, it's easier to manage, because, well, he's in his own house, but in public, there's no way to make the unknown stop. It's not only uncomfortable, but also insanely overwhelming.
You would have a better chance of actually winning the Powerball lottery than ever seeing me in public. That's how rare it is. No joke.
The blueprint says the path forward revolves around a constant state of evolution. The more you change, the newer things are, the more excited people are to watch. But for Queso, that path has never really been accessible the same way it is for everyone else. And yet, here he is.
Literally almost 1,000 away from 10 million.
Yeah.
Say it ain't so. This is a moment in history? No, this is a moment in history.
Behind everything, the awards, the numbers, the journey from a rice mill to the number 3 spot on Twitch, almost nothing has actually changed.
You definitely gonna do this? Hey, I hope so, CJ. That'd be a dream come true for your boy, man.
Such a good
Maybe my parents don't have to work no
video.
more either. That'd be a dream come true too, bro.
He's been grounded in the fact that streaming was never about being the very best. It was always about building a life worth living, for himself and for the people he loves.
Wait, Mom, we're about to hit 10 million. I can't believe what I'm seeing.
Oh my goodness.
I can't believe what I'm seeing. We're about to hit 10 million!
I gotta turn this off. Come on.
No way we're actually about to hit it.
Yeah.
We hit 10 million, baby! Let's go! 10 million on YouTube!
His mom was there before any of this made sense.
She brought me some balloons in here. Yo! She brought me some balloons. Balloons.
You can't see it.
Get a pose in there with it.
Oh, she's adorable.
Before all of the awards
they're
and money,
adorable.
before tens of thousands of people were waiting for him to go live, she was the only one who pushed him to try streaming in the first place.
That's a dadgum diamond play button. You've had this? What? It wouldn't be possible without y'all, Chad. And you know who else it wouldn't be possible without? My mom. Come stand in front of the camera. Look at that.
And his dad, the man who spent his whole life doing the kind of work nobody claps for.
My dad, for example, like, dude, this whole life just working. He's had multiple back surgeries, multiple wrist surgeries, multiple foot surgeries, all from just working his whole life.
The man he watched and worked alongside with do it with no complaints.
I worked with my dad. We were both maintenance men. Maintenance ain't easy work. You know, you're crawling under sinks, you're changing faucets, you're crawling up in attics, you know, all that, just nasty.
The same man that taught him how to work was eventually the one who told him to quit his regular job and do what he loved.
I remember the night we hit 5,000. I was like, all right, tomorrow I'm gonna call my boss. I remember I got him to call because I was scared. Like, hey, boss, you know, I'm playing video games for a living, but it'd sound better coming from my dad because, you know, my dad was essentially like his right-hand man.
Yep.
But yeah.
So when streaming became a reality, he made sure that the two people who spent their lives building him up never had to work again.
What has been like the most fulfilling thing that you've run into?
Let's say. Oh man, I'm so tired. Okay. I think I'm gonna I'm gonna try and do the short thing. Actually, let me look up, because like, does anybody know like what I'm supposed to do with these shorts? Like, you know what? Let me just ask ChatGPT. Hold on, everybody. Hold. Okay, how to get 5K? Or no, I should do 100, huh? To get 100. Not fast, but like, I'm not in a rush. Yeah. So like, how do I do that, guys? How do I do it? Okay. Hi, baby. Are you awake? Yeah. What? See, but then it tells me too much shit. Okay, wait. What do you want me to do? Premise, conflict, progression, and a payoff. Right. 10 to 30. Second layer. Before, after, next morning. Interesting. Okay. So then I just need a bunch of shorts, all right? So like how many? So I should be aiming for 8. Okay. Right. Okay. Got it. All right, guys. I'm gonna try that out. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Peace. Yeah.